Welcome back. I hope you are enjoying our lectures. In the previous lecture, we got introduced to the low-level APIs. As a part of this lecture, we'll understand resilient distributed datasets, that is RDDs. Any idea what is an RDD? Can you just pause a video and think? RDD represents an immutable partition collection of the records that can be operated on parallel. Then let me ask you a question. How about the data frames? Are data frames immutable or not? Can you tell me if the data frames are immutable or not? They are immutable. And are they partitioned or not? Yes, they are partitioned. Can they be operated on in parallel or not? Yes, they can be operated on parallel. But then why is there special treatment to the RDD as compared to the data frames? That's because when Spark came into existence somewhere in 2010, 11 and 12, immutability and partitioning and parallel processing was the hot thing which was going on. That's where all these inventors of Spark, in a way, ended up defining a RDD as an immutable partition collection of records which can be operated on in parallel. In data frames, it is taken. Data frames means they are immutable, they are partition collection of records, and they can be operated on in parallel. So only the distinction here is RDDs are low-level APIs of Spark, which are immutable partition collection of records that can be operated on in parallel. I hope you got it now. Some of the features of the RDD are, one of the important feature is RDD's records are Java, Scala, Python objects of whatever the programmer working on with the Spark. Means if somebody is working with a Java and Spark, RDD is a Java object. If somebody is working with a Python and Spark, it is a Python object. That is one of the important aspect, and that also has a repercussions as and when we move forward in this lecture. Because RDDs are the objects of a programmer's choice, they give the programmer complete control, right? Because you have a flexibility, you have a control to manipulate them as you want, as you need, and you can store anything you want in the objects which are defined by Python or Java. But this will not come without any potential issues. Yes, we do have a flexibility, we do have a control because they are the Python objects or the Scala objects, but this great power will not come without any potential issues. Every manipulation or interaction or transformation between the values must be defined by a hand. That is the thing here. You have a great power, but whatever you are doing, that need to be defined by a programmer here. In a way, you are reinventing the wheel for whatever you are trying to carry out as a part of the transformations, actions, when you do that by storing the data in RDD. And one more important aspect here is, whenever you want to do any optimization, they require much more manual work. Means when I say manual here, we got to write many lines of code, because Spark actually doesn't understand the inner structure of the records, because the records are a Python or Scala objects. But in case of structured APIs, because structured APIs are in a way defined, handled, controlled by a Spark completely, Spark understands the inner structure of the structured APIs very well as compared to the low level APIs. Let us take some examples here. Whenever you use a structured APIs like data frames that can automatically store the data in optimized compressed binary format because Spark understands that really well. If you want to implement the same kind of a optimization, compression to achieve the same space efficiency and performance, we need to implement this type format inside the RDD. That means in turn, you have to drill down to the Scala or Python objects. That is one of the potential issue. Or this great power comes with a bit of a hassles. And also, if you want to do filtering or aggregations, which can occur automatically with a one or two simple functions in structured APIs, you have to write multiple lines of code for achieving the same kind of a filtering or aggregations here. That means in Spark, structured APIs have many more inbuilt functions to be operated so that your manipulations happen very easily. For this reason, it is highly recommended to use the Spark structured APIs in most of the times. Whenever you are not able to use the Spark structured APIs, then only you get into the RDDs. That's the reason, as a part of this whole course, we are mostly focusing on the data frames rather than RDDs.